We're going to make figure 8-95 in this video. Fire up Autodesk Inventor and start a new part. This part's in millimeters, so make sure in your tools, document settings, units, you have the length set to millimeters. Apply, close, 3D model, start a 2D sketch. We're going to make the base first. So I'm starting on the XZ plane, making sure that top is turned so that it is horizontally readable. And if we take a really close look, a good close look at this part, this outside radius is 15, and between this center point and this center point it's 38. So what that means is between this center point and this center point it's also 38. But if we added that 15 to the 38, we would get that length here, and we could double that to get the total length. But what we're going to do is make these circles first. Draw a line and get some things dimensioned out properly. So that is 15. So 15. That's the diameter of this one right here. And the outside one, the radius is 15, which means that the diameter is 30. So 30. We're going to draw a line here. And then we're going to just repeat the other circles over here. So 15 and 30. Okay, so now we're going to use these lines and center marks to dimension the part. So between this center and this center is 38, so it's going to be the same on both sides. So I'm going to click here, and that is 38. Do the same on this side. Okay. The total width of the part, or the depth of the part in this direction is 64. So if I were to draw, so I have to also realize something else. There's going to be like a rectangle shape here. Oopsies. Okay, there's a rectangle shape here, which is this flat side and the other flat side, and this width right here is actually this diameter. So the diameter is 30. So if I make this 30, that means that between this center mark and this edge, that should be 15. So that places that directly in the center there. And then the total length is 64. 64. And what we need to do is center this in between these circles. So that dimension is going to be between this line and the center mark. That's half of 64. So 64 divided by 2, we'll put that directly in the center. Okay, awesome. So now what we can do next is from this corner to the circle like that, we'll tangent it. Okay, and then press X on the keyboard to trim that. Do the same for this corner. Tangent. Press X to trim. Seems like a lot of steps here, but this is, in my opinion, the easiest way to make this drawing. Okay. Now we gotta get rid of all this inside stuff because we want to extrude just that base, and we'll add the circles later again. So I'm gonna trim all the stuff I don't need. Okay, what happened here? If I delete this, delete, nothing should change. Let me trim this. Alrighty. I'm gonna finish that sketch, and I'm gonna extrude that by, it looks like it's 12.5. So So extrude 12.5, and there's our base. Excellent. We can go ahead and make these holes now. So right click new sketch on the surface there. Those were 15. Yep, 15. Same on this one. And go ahead and extrude cut those. Okay. Now we need to make these guys here. So I'll right click new sketch. And I'm just going to make one and then mirror it, because that's just going to be faster. So project geometry of this surface, click on the rectangle tool. From this corner to this corner, I'm going to just draw a rectangle to start with, and go back to my drawing that is 12 wide. So this dimension right here is 12. Okay, great. I'm going to finish that sketch. I'm going to extrude that up by... Alright, so I got to do some mental math, or I can actually use the calculator here. The base is 12.5, and then it includes this 35 here between that center mark, and the radius is 15. So if I do, let's see, 15 plus 30 minus 12.5, I'll get the height that I want. So let's go back to Inventor, and let me make sure I'm thinking this through right. So 35 plus 15 minus 12.5. Okay, so 35 plus 15 minus 12.5. There it is. I could have did that on calculator, but you can do it in Inventor as well. And then that radius is 15, so I'm going to use fillet. Millimeters 15. Click on that edge and that edge, and I get my fillet. Right click new sketch. This diameter is 12, so I'm going to click on that center mark, make that 12, extrude cut that. Great. Now I'm going to use the mid plane option, so mid plane between two planes. So I'm going to select that plane, turn my part around, select that plane, there's my mid plane. Click on mirror. I'm going to mirror all these features. This feature, this feature, this feature. So I got to click on all those. Then click on the mirror plane. Click on work plane 1. See how it brings it over? Click OK. And there is figure 8-95 in 3D.